All right, now let's head to Grants Pass, Oregon, where the city council is working to determine details surrounding designated homeless campsites. That's an issue that has the council and some residents there divided. You likely remember that the small city was at the center of the recent U.S. Supreme Court case. The justices ruled that cities can fine or jail people for camping and sleeping in public places like parks. But even though the court ruled in the city's favor, Grants Pass still has to follow a state law passed in 2021 that controls how cities deal with homeless camps in Oregon. House Bill 3115 requires cities to create objectively reasonable rules involving the camps. In Grants Pass, their version of those rules includes 4 designated campsites. The city manager says apart from simply making those sites available, there's nothing else the city should be doing.
While it is our goal to provide as much support as possible, it is equally important that we do so in a way that protects the city from potential legal liabilities.
On the other side, homeless advocates argue the campsites lack things like shade, water, and additional bathroom facilities, conditions they call cruel, especially during weather like the heat wave last month.
I do appreciate the fact that you're not required to put up covered awnings, but when it's 100 degrees outside, which it's supposed to be this weekend, and you have people who can't walk, and there's a lot of them in there, you are going to have medical emergencies. It's inevitable.
During the public comment, councilors heard arguments on both sides. One side saying the city needs to offer more, and the other side saying they should actually offer less. They don't want designated sites, period. Another council member chimed in saying the city has done enough.
What I mean by the city has done its part, I mean that we have provided a place for people to be. Any service that we provide as a city here moving forward, we need to be prepared to provide that service in perpetuity, theoretically, forever. I'm not willing to do that.
After the 3-hour meeting, the city council voted to allow nonprofits to provide the shade, water, and benches at the camps. The city itself would maintain sanitation standards and provide doggy poop bags, for example, and cigarette butt collection cans. Previously, people were only allowed to spend 3 days at one of the campsites before they had to move on to another one, but council voted to increase that time to 1 week. It took a tie-breaking vote from the mayor to pass that, by the way. One council member who voted to increase the time said she doesn't understand the point of moving these people around week after week.
I really encourage this council to look to the future, have an ounce of vision, and ask what the next goal is after that. Is it to get these people back into housing, or is it to be cruel?
So yes, despite the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in favor of Grants Pass, they are still grappling with how to handle the homeless folks in their community, in part because of state law 3115. By the way, current Governor Tina Kotek was the sole chief sponsor of that bill back in 2021 when she was Speaker of the House. We'll be watching the legislative session in Salem next year to see if lawmakers will be changing that law or leave it as it is. By the way, I asked the governor earlier this summer if she thought the law should be changed. She said, not for now. She wants to see it enforced before considering whether it needs any changes.